Thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. Last week, I did not put out a video because I was not doing very well. I was very, very sick to the point where getting out of bed was near impossible. So I'm so sorry that I missed a week, but here is hopefully a very good makeup video for the fact that I missed last week. So I received a question basically asking what my opinion was on a raw diet, a fully raw diet. And I'm assuming the person who did the asking meant like a fully vegan raw diet, because there is a way to be raw where like you eat raw meat and fish. So, but I'm assuming they mean like the vegan version, the plant-based, that is, you know, uncooked, that is it. So that is what I'm going to talk about today. Back in the day when I was a little bit more delusional and a little bit more brainwashed into the whole like veganism and everything. I am still a vegan. I'm just not crazy anymore. And back in the day, I believed that veganism was like the pinnacle of like healthy diet, and if you wanted to be even more healthy and more right with the world, you would go one step further and you would be a raw vegan, and you would not cook your food and you would just eat plants and you would be happy. And that was like the end all be all perfection diet, was a raw vegan diet. I know, it's insane, but that is where I was in my early years of being a vegan, and really like gung-ho, like veganism, make everyone vegan. I should be the example that people see, so I should be, you know, the perfect example and push myself to be raw vegan. Like that would be the ideal. And so at one time in my life, I did attempt to be raw. It was horrible, and it is not for everyone. Basic premise of a raw diet, a raw vegan diet, is obviously vegan, so no animal products of any kind, and then the raw part. You don't cook anything, and if you do, I believe it can be up to a degree of like 116 degrees Fahrenheit. I believe that is the temperature that you are allowed to cook. I believe that there is a way to do raw healthy. You speak to a doctor, you learn, you know, where the sources of your vitamins and minerals and your nutrients, what is it that you need to eat to have a fully balanced diet. A lot of raw vegans are low-fat vegans in addition to being raw. So it's just, you're eliminating important nutrients from your diet. And I think the biggest issue I have with raw veganism is a lot of people, I think, do it incorrectly, and they might be coming from a place of a background of like restriction and stuff, and this is just kind of an excuse to continue restricting. Any diet that eliminates a complete food group, so in the case of like a low fat or no fat raw vegan, you are putting a stigma against fat, and you're creating a fear of fat. And that's the thing about dieting, is diet eliminates something. There's some kind of sacrifice that goes along with dieting. And when it is a complete food group or a nutrient or something like that, again, you are creating a fear of that thing. And it is almost saying that thing is bad and needs to be avoided. That does not equal a healthy relationship with food. That is where eating disorders stem from, is that a little initial fear. And advocates of like a raw vegan diet or whatever the diet is are going to say, oh, we're not afraid of it. No, we just know, you know, the secret information that know like that stuff's unhealthy and it's not necessary. Those are just cover-ups for the fact that these people are afraid of fat, are afraid that there's something lacking when you cook food. There is something, you know, carbs, if it's a low carb diet, you know, carbs are scary and they're gonna turn you fat. There is no one food group or one nutrient that is gonna make you fat overnight. I think there is a way to do raw vegan healthy in a smart way, in a way that incorporates carbs, protein, and fats, a way that creates a balance in diet. You have to supplement. You have to make sure that you're getting enough of the necessary nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. And you cannot be afraid and cut back on certain nutrients. You just can't do that. And that's the case for all diets. Whatever it is that you eat on a daily basis, you want to be healthy, you have to make sure that you are not eliminating and restricting nutrients, especially the nutrients that are key to keeping you alive. I don't think a lot of people do it correctly. I think a lot of people jump into it thinking they understand it, and all they know is that it's raw, uncooked. Like that's the knowledge that they have, and they don't take it one step further to truly understand what it means to be a raw vegan and still healthy. They adopt this diet and they think like I used to think, like this is the pinnacle of dieting, like this is the perfect diet, and then they fail at it, we'll say, or they force themselves to keep doing it and they get sick, or they just become unhealthy and they just don't know why. So I want to talk really briefly about my experience being raw. I believe it was like a month, maybe a month, just shy of a month, that I ate raw. And looking back, I know full well I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't take the time to learn about it, obviously. I was at a very, very sick part, like mentally, like in my eating disorder. It was not ideal for my mental state at that time. Again, I did not do research. I learned about it and then decided to do it without looking into it further to truly understand what it meant. And I was in a la land of just like, this is going to, fix all my problems. I'm gonna be so healthy. I'm gonna be so happy because this is the way to eat. And oh, it was horrible because at the same time I had a fear of carbs, and that included fruit, which is like, if you know about raw veganism, you know that fruit plays a big part. So I tried to be raw, which consisted of me eating like a salad a day. I really had no understanding of what it meant and how much you have to eat and how much of certain things you have to eat. And then I discovered, the fruitarians, those types of raw vegans who really literally almost exclusively eat fruit. And so I decided that, and that just destroyed my stomach. Like, that's a lot of fiber and stuff, but for some reason I did not poop, like at all, ever. And if you know, I don't do that often anyway. I have really bad digestion, and this diet did not help in any way. So in addition, like fear of fat, fear of carbs, already, restrictive background, becoming raw, not knowing what I'm doing, not knowing literally anything about being raw, not taking supplements, not having an understanding of nutrition, not speaking to a doctor who probably would have been like, you're an idiot. And I've probably been like, what? I'm perfect, and all of these things. And I think this is what a lot of people who try to be raw or think about being raw, I think they're coming from very similar backgrounds as myself. So as someone who experienced it and like just couldn't do it because it was horrible and so unsatisfying, not delicious at all, and I tried to convince myself that the things that I was eating was delicious. Zucchini noodles are good like once, and after the thrill of making zucchini noodles is over, it's no longer thrilling. It's just like I'm eating water in the shape of a noodle. I had to go back to eating warm food because I needed comfort, and there is nothing comforting about raw kale. There isn't. And you just, for me, it wasn't a good match. It's maybe now, I'm not going to even try to do it now because I'm happy with how I eat, but I mean, now I think I'm in a place mentally with an understanding of nutrition that I could probably do it for longer. But why would I want to do that when I already have a pretty well balanced nutritionally dense diet already? There's no reason to go one step further and go crazy again. I'm trying to remember if I have covered all the points that I wanted to make. I didn't take any notes in preparation for this video. I really just wanted to word vomit things that would pop into my head, which I think I've done and probably talked into a million circles and hopefully made a little bit of sense somewhere along the way. Because I can't think of what I wanted to talk about next, what I'll do is I will make a more concise and organized video about raw veganism sometime in the future, and that is just what I'll do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much to the person who suggested it. These are just some of my thoughts and my opinions on raw veganism. It is coming from a place of experience because I did attempt it, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. If you have not subscribed, maybe think about doing so, because you don't lose anything by subscribing. You just end up seeing my face a little bit more often. So definitely consider subscribing. I really appreciate that as well. And if you have any questions or comments or suggestions or video requests, feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Bye!